In the quiet moments of dawn before the world stirred, I found solace in the simple rhythm of life. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the soft giggles of my children, and the comforting embrace of routine painted my days with contentment. I was a mother, a wife, a daughter, roles I cherished deeply. My husband, whom I met during my college years, was my confidant and partner. Our bond seemed unbreakable, built on shared dreams and whispered promises. My mother, ever present, was the pillar of strength I leaned on. Together they were the anchors of my world. Life was predictable in the best way possible. Family dinners, weekend outings, and late-night talks filled our home with warmth. I often thought, this is happiness. But beneath the surface, subtle shifts began to occur. A missed dinner, a forgotten anniversary, a lingering glance, all seemingly insignificant on their own. I dismissed them, attributing them to life's busyness. Little did I know, these were the first tremors of an impending earthquake that would shatter the foundation of my existence. Our home was a haven, filled with laughter and love. Photographs adorned the walls, capturing moments of joy and togetherness. Friends often remarked on our close-knit family, envying the bond we shared. My husband was attentive, always ensuring our needs were met. He'd surprise me with flowers, plan spontaneous getaways, and often expressed his appreciation for our life together. My mother, too, was deeply involved in our lives. She'd babysit the kids, offer advice, and was a constant presence during family gatherings. Her relationship with my husband was amicable, filled with mutual respect. Or so I believed. Looking back, there were moments that now seem out of place. Shared jokes between them, prolonged conversations, and an ease that bordered on familiarity. But at the time, I saw it as a testament to our family's closeness. It's astonishing how love can blind us, making us overlook the glaring signs that, in hindsight, were always there. It started with subtle changes. My husband became distant, often engrossed in his phone or stepping out for work emergencies. Our conversations grew sparse and intimacy became a rarity. I confronted him, seeking answers, but was met with reassurances and excuses. He attributed his behavior to stress, promising things would return to normal. I wanted to believe him. Simultaneously, my mother's visits became more frequent. She'd often arrive unannounced, spending extended periods at our home. Her interactions with my husband seemed increasingly personal, but I dismissed any doubts. One evening, I overheard a hushed conversation between them. Their tones were intimate, filled with laughter and whispers. A chill ran down my spine, but I quickly rationalized it, convincing myself I was overthinking. Denial became my refuge, a shield against the unsettling reality that was slowly unfolding. The truth unraveled unexpectedly. Returning home earlier than planned, I found the house unusually quiet. Voices emanated from the living room, my husband and mother engrossed in conversation. As I approached, their laughter ceased abruptly. They looked up, startled, guilt evident in their eyes. An eerie silence filled the room. I demanded an explanation. They exchanged glances before my husband confessed to the affair, citing emotional connection and shared understanding as reasons. My mother remained silent, tears streaming down her face. The betrayal was incomprehensible. The two people I trusted most had conspired against me, shattering my world. I felt a surge of emotions: anger, sorrow, disbelief. In that moment, I realized the depth of their deception and the irreparable damage it had caused. The days that followed were a blur. I moved out, seeking solace in the homes of close friends. My children, too young to grasp the situation, sensed the tension and clung to me for comfort. I sought therapy, hoping to navigate the tumultuous emotions that consumed me. Each session was a step towards healing, a journey of self-discovery and resilience. Support from friends and extended family became my lifeline. Their unwavering presence reminded me of the strength I possessed and the love that still surrounded me. Gradually, I began to rebuild. I found a new home, established routines, and focused on providing stability for my children. The pain lingered, but it no longer defined me. In embracing the future, I learned that betrayal, while devastating, could also be a catalyst for growth and empowerment. In the weeks following the revelation, the atmosphere in our home grew tense. Conversations became curt, and the once warm interactions were replaced with cold indifference. I found myself questioning every past moment, wondering how I missed the signs. Sleep eluded me as I replayed events, searching for clues. The late-night calls, the sudden errands, and the shared glances between them now painted a picture of betrayal. I began to withdraw, avoiding family gatherings and limiting interactions. The weight of the secret I carried was suffocating, yet I couldn't bring myself to confront them again. Friends noticed the change in me, expressing concern. But how could I explain the turmoil without reliving the pain? I chose silence, hoping time would offer clarity. However, the silence only deepened my wounds, making me realize that avoidance was not the path to healing. Determined to find closure, I delved into our shared digital life. Emails, messages, and photos became evidence of the betrayal. Each discovery was a dagger, confirming my worst fears. I stumbled upon messages that revealed the depth of their relationship. Terms of endearment, plans for the future, and even discussions about me painted a picture of a parallel life they shared. One message stood out: "Once she's out of the picture, we can be together openly." The audacity of their plans left me numb. I compiled the evidence, unsure of my next steps. Confrontation seemed inevitable, but the fear of further heartbreak held me back. Yet I knew that to reclaim my life I had to face the truth head-on, no matter how painful. Gathering my courage, I arranged a meeting with both of them. The setting was neutral, but the tension was palpable. I presented the evidence, watching their faces as the reality sank in. My husband attempted to justify his actions, citing dissatisfaction and seeking comfort. My mother remained silent, her eyes avoiding mine. I expressed my pain, betrayal, and the impact of their actions on our family. Tears flowed freely, emotions raw and unfiltered. They offered apologies, but the damage was irreparable. Trust, once broken, is challenging to rebuild. Leaving the meeting, I felt a mix of sorrow and relief. The confrontation marked the beginning of my healing journey. In the aftermath, I focused on rebuilding my life. Therapy became a sanctuary, offering tools to process the trauma. Each session peeled back layers of pain, guiding me toward acceptance. I leaned on close friends, their support unwavering. They reminded me of my strength and worth, helping me rediscover joy in small moments. Engaging in new hobbies provided distraction and fulfillment. Painting, once a forgotten passion, became a medium to express my emotions. I also prioritized my children's well-being, ensuring they felt loved and secure amidst the changes. Open conversations helped them process the situation. People.com. Through resilience and support, I began to see a future beyond the betrayal, one filled with hope and new beginnings. Time, though it doesn't erase pain, offers perspective. Months turned into a year and the wounds began to scar over. I found myself laughing genuinely, experiencing moments of untainted happiness. I reconnected with old friends, traveled to places I'd always dreamed of, and embraced opportunities that once seemed out of reach. The betrayal, while a significant chapter, no longer defined my story. It became a testament to my strength and capacity for growth. Forgiveness, not for them but for myself, became essential. Letting go of resentment allowed me to truly move forward. As I stood on the threshold of this new chapter, I felt empowered, ready to embrace life with renewed vigor and an open heart. In the wake of the betrayal, I found myself engulfed in a whirlwind of emotions. The pain was not just from the affair but from the realization that my foundational relationships were built on deceit. I grappled with feelings of inadequacy, questioning my worth and the authenticity of past interactions. Sleep became elusive and daily routines felt burdensome. The once comforting walls of my home now echoed with memories tainted by betrayal. I sought solace in journaling, attempting to process the chaos within. Friends and family reached out, offering support, but I often withdrew, fearing pity and judgment. Their well-meaning words sometimes felt hollow against the depth of my despair. Therapy became a lifeline. With professional guidance, I began to unpack the trauma, understanding that the betrayal spoke more about them than about me. It was a slow journey, but each session brought a glimmer of clarity. Through this process, I started to reclaim my narrative, recognizing that while I couldn't change the past, I had control over my healing journey. Trust, once shattered, is arduous to rebuild. I found myself second-guessing intentions, reading between lines and anticipating deceit even in genuine gestures. This hypervigilance extended beyond personal relationships, affecting professional interactions as well. I questioned my judgment, wondering how I had missed the signs. This self-doubt was paralyzing, making me hesitant to form new connections or rekindle old ones. However, with time and therapy, I learned to differentiate between caution and paranoia. I began setting boundaries, communicating openly, and prioritizing my emotional well-being. Rebuilding trust wasn't about forgetting the betrayal but about learning to trust myself again. I realized that my intuition, though once ignored, was a powerful tool for navigating relationships. Embracing this perspective allowed me to approach new relationships with a balanced mindset, open yet discerning. The betrayal forced me to reevaluate the concept of family. I had always believed that familial bonds were unbreakable, rooted in unconditional love and loyalty. This experience shattered that illusion. I came to understand that family isn't solely defined by blood but by mutual respect, trust, and support. This realization empowered me to distance myself from toxic relationships, even if they were familial. I began to cultivate a chosen family, a circle of friends and confidants who stood by me, offering unwavering support without judgment. Their presence became a source of strength and comfort. This shift in perspective also influenced how I raised my children. I emphasized the importance of integrity, open communication, and the understanding that it's okay to set boundaries, even with family. Through this journey, I redefined family as a sanctuary of trust and love, regardless of biological ties. Initially, I felt like a victim ensnared in a web of deceit and manipulation. However, as I navigated the healing process, I began to see myself as a survivor, a woman who faced profound betrayal and chose to rise above it. I channeled my pain into purpose, volunteering at local support groups for individuals who had experienced similar betrayals. Sharing my story became a therapeutic outlet, transforming my trauma into a beacon of hope for others. This empowerment extended to other areas of my life. I pursued further education, advanced in my career, and explored passions that had long been dormant. Each achievement reinforced my resilience. I also prioritized self-care, recognizing that nurturing my physical and mental health was paramount. Activities like yoga, meditation, and travel became integral to my well-being. Through these endeavors, I reclaimed my identity, no longer defined by betrayal but by strength, resilience, and self-worth. Today I stand at the threshold of a new chapter, one that I author with intention and authenticity. The scars remain reminders of the battles fought, but they no longer dictate my story. I've learned to embrace vulnerability, understanding that it's not a weakness but a testament to my courage. This openness has deepened my relationships and enriched my experiences. My journey has also instilled in me a profound sense of gratitude for the lessons learned, the strength discovered, and the love that emerged from unexpected places. As I look to the future, I do so with hope and confidence, knowing that I have the resilience to face whatever comes my way. I am not defined by what happened to me but by how I chose to respond. This is my story, not of betrayal but of triumph, growth, and the unwavering pursuit of peace and happiness.